I would say that women above the ages of really like 22 are utterly useless, and I'll give the reason why. Even if she has zero body count, virgin, not promiscuous at all, she still had the opportunity to do all those things. She still had all the richest of the rich guys hitting on her. So, having been exposed to that and having had that opportunity, now you come along, and even though her pair bonding abilities and her oxytocin release, all her brain chemistry is still perfectly fine, she's going to know deep down, I could have this. Why am I going to, go with this guy if this guy is an option? So it really doesn't matter. Once that gets known by a woman, it's pretty much over. So really, like anything above the age of 22, no matter what the body count, no matter how non-promiscuous she is, it's over. She's essentially useless.
Okay. So you heard that big bag of nonsense. This is why I tell you guys to avoid the red pill. This is why I tell you guys that the red pill is dead. This is why I tell you guys that you need to focus on just making your money. The red pill was supposed to be a pit stop, and it turned into a rest haven. That was a guy named Clavicular. I'll have to do a whole breakdown on him at a later point in time, but the long and the short of it is he is a Gen Z influencer. He's 19, but he looks like he's pushing 30, and he looks that way because this guy has been blasting gear. He's been doing steroids and testosterone since he was 14. Now, I have no clue how he got a hold of that. Like I said, I have to do my research, but he's been doing this since he was 14, and he is a part of what is known as the looksmaxing community. And this is the community that says, out of, money, muscles, game, frame, looks, all of that type of stuff, out of all of the attributes a man can have, looks is the most important. That's the looks maxing. And this is an offshoot of the red pill. Okay. So this is one of the things, this is one of the very negative side effects of the red pill. You get the looks maxing community. You have money maxing, you have height maxing, which, you're born with the height that you have. We'll get to that in a second. But essentially, this guy thinks that looks is the most important thing, and he is currently on a journey to do anything he can to be as beautiful as he can. Now, this guy, like I said, he started doing TRT at like 14. And he did that because he wanted to get his testosterone going, and he wants to achieve his goals. He wants to get to that muscle maturity, that point when his face starts thinning out. You know how older men start to look. He wants to do that. And, he's done all this stuff to make himself look more beautiful. He's had like facial surgery, like jaw surgery. He's had his teeth straightened. He has reels and Instagrams where he's like using eye curlers and stuff like that. He literally wears makeup to make himself more beautiful. He's had hairline surgery. Like, this guy has spent like $100,000 to make himself look more attractive. Now, it should be noted, this guy is 6'2", and he is considering, not even considering, like, he's booked it. He's booked a leg lengthening surgery where they break your legs, they insert screws, and then you're pretty much immobile for the next 6 months. And you got to turn the screws every so often to, make your legs grow, make your legs, get taller. So he's trying to go from 6'2" to 6'6". And according to him, he wants very domineering presence when he walks in a room. So you can see this guy is a bit of a character, and he is extremely insecure about himself. It should be noted that this guy actually smokes crystal meth. And now, this is not hyperbole. He has admitted it himself.
Wait, is it true you do meth? Somebody told me you do meth too.
I do math, yes. So I do math to, basically suppress my appetite and try to get leaner, try to lean.
Wait, so how are you not like tweaking right now if you do meth?
Well, I mean, once you use it for a while, and if you use moderate dosages, you're just getting like the same effects as alcohol plus the appetite suppression.
Okay.
So if you guys didn't know, is essentially the same, class of drug as alcohol. It's just an addition of the methyl group. So, the effects are quite similar, so it's really not as bad as people think. You just have a lot of people smoking, so it's surpassing their blood-brain barrier.
Wait, how do you take it?
Intranasally.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Like up your nose. Just
Oh,
like
okay.
a little
So
bit.
you snort it?
A little bit up the nose sometimes, yeah, something
Maybe
like
maybe
that.
maybe do a little snort right now.
Well, no, today's
I'm
an
just
off
kidding.
day.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
This is one of the off days, but that's
Damn.
funny that we. Good
Wait,
thing we're on kick.
Now, I thought that this guy was a clown. I thought that this was a bit. I thought this was an internet bit, but then I did my research, and it's not. This is 100% real. This guy really has been on steroids since 14. He's really had all these surgeries going on. He really does smoke meth to lose weight. Like, this guy is the epitome of a loser. But this is all a product of the red pill, right? And now you hear in this video, he's talking about how a 22-year-old woman is pretty much useless. Now, one of the hallmarks of the red pill has always been their affinity for younger women, and typically they were more aligned with the Leonardo DiCaprios. They were more aligned with the thought process of 25 is as low as I'll go. Basically, once a woman gets past 25, she's, used up because she probably went to college and probably has a high body count and, dated this guy, dated that guy. She's been passed around, the usual tropes. Now, whether that's true or not is kind of beside the point. And the reason that it is because this guy is now saying 22 is the cutoff. And he's saying even if this woman makes it to the age of 22 or was he 23, let's say 23, because he said women past the age of 22. So let's say this woman is 23, 24. She makes it past that age. She makes it past the age of 22. Let's say she's a virgin. She doesn't have a high body count, obviously. Even he admitted it. She could have a low body count. She'd be a virgin. She could have all her dopamine receptors intact and all her pair bonding. She hasn't, she doesn't have all this baggage and whatnot. But even though all of that might be the case, it's the fact that she knows that she could have done all that stuff. So why would she want to be with you? This is the epitome of stupid, right? This is the absolutely epitome of stupid. This is essentially like saying, well, if she lives on the earth, then at some point in time, she's going to recognize that she has better options than you. And once she recognizes that, she's worthless. So any woman who lives on earth is worthless. Well, like, what are you going to do? Move to the moon? You're going to go to Mars or something? Like, this is what I'm talking about. And it was that clip that made me think that this guy was just trolling because it was so stupid. It makes absolutely no sense. This guy is saying that essentially any woman who recognizes that she has options is going to be used up and she's no good. A woman could come to this conclusion at like 15 or 16. Like, she could literally be the prettiest girl in her high school and realize, oh, I could have this guy way up here, or I could have that guy over there. Like, what are you saying? Like, he himself said she could literally be fully intact. She could be a virgin. She's not part of hookup culture, any of that, but she's still worthless. At what point in time do we stop this foolishness? Like, at what point? We are now taking advice from a 19-year-old crackhead about women's value, about what makes a woman valuable and at what age the cutoff comes. Sir, what are you talking about? This is honestly what parents and women were afraid of when they were battling against Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit and all of that a few years back. This is the result. Now, I understand it's not all of the youth, like, because this guy, I believe he's a heavy outlier. But at the same time, Gen Z is very dynamic in how they get down. Like, they're completely detached from the real world. They are completely connected to the digital space. So this is all they see all day, every day. So 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, if you are 40, 35, 30, even 25, you were probably not attached to your phone this way. You're probably not attached to social media this way. So you could think independently to some significant degree. The kids that are coming up now, they can't think independently. So they see these clavicular types all day, every day. And then the ideas start to seep in. Now, he's the only person that I see at this level. However, if you go to TikTok and you type in looksmaxing, it's a ton of Gen Z men doing this. Now, they're not necessarily going to this extent, but you can see how it could reach that. But this is what I'm talking about. The red pill it breeds losers. It breeds dummies. It just breeds the worst kind of people. Like the black pill. The black pill was the space that really, really gave birth to looksmaxing. The red pill was obviously full of incels, and it gave birth to the black pill. And the black pill believes that, there's just guys out there who are they're never going to make it. Like, these guys are never going to be loved. They're never going to be accepted. Women are always going to hate them, yada, 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 so on and so forth. Like, they are completely nihilistic. They are hopeless in every sense of the word. They were the ones who came up with looksmaxing. They were the ones who said, well, we have to find some way to compete in the sexual market. And they were like, oh, we'll just do everything we can to look better. And there's a guy named Wheat Waffles on YouTube, and he does a whole lot of this kind of stuff. And he's broken down, like, he's pretty much the grandfather, the OG. He's the Kevin Samuels or the Andrew Tate, the fresh and fit of the black pill space. Like, he's the go-to guy. So all of these guys have watched his material, and he's nihilistic, but he's not like toxic. He's not like a awful character. He's more just pragmatic about things. But people watch that and they get this idea for looksmaxing, and then it gives rise to this. And now we got a 19-year-old crackhead talking about a 22-year-old woman is used up even if she's a virgin, because there's the possibility that she understands that she has value. So why would she go over here with you? Because the holidays are upon us, your holiday, not mine. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but because the pagan holidays are upon us, I'm not going to go like super, super deep on this, but at some point in time, I think I might have to actually dive a little bit deeper into this foolishness. But you guys get why I tell you, stay away from the red pill. It breeds the worst kind of people. And now we got people breaking their legs, paying $100,000 to break their legs and get them lengthened. You got people cutting up their face to, look like the Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator. They're smoking crack to lose weight. They're using makeup, even though they're men. And they're saying that 22-year-old women who are virgins are worthless and they're used up and they have no value. And we're listening to this and we're giving it a platform. Even Myron, the cringe lord himself, was kind of looking disinterested. Like, he was trying to keep his composure, because even he was looking at the dude like he was out of his mind. So it's like, even the OGs can kind of see what they put out there. They are seeing the fruits of their labor. So if you guys ever get mad at me for crapping on the red pill, just look at what it's produced. Look at what it's producing and then reassess. It is what it is.